All right. And with that, we are on.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the September 15th meeting of the Board of Public Works. We do have two written comments, all public comments now. Pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order and the process for the Board of Public Works are being submitted in written form. We did receive two of those that the board got via email. Well, I'll ask if there's any response to the public before we go to the staff reports. I'm not seeing any, but of course, feel free to interrupt me, board members, at any time. Then we'll go to staff reports. Who would like to start? Mike? Sorry, I see Mike waving and I see.
Okay, there it is. I wasn't able to unmute myself first. I think Dave, I was going to say it looked like Dave Horton had some comments.
Oh, Dave, yes.
Oh, I just was wondering if the public comment meeting, Zachary's letter is part of that, or are we going to discuss that later?
It's not part of the agenda. It came in late, but he had submitted some public comments through the public comment link on our website. So just like a 3-minute public comment, I suppose you can respond to it or not.
Yeah,
So are we going to discuss any of the issues later, or is this the time to discuss it? That was my question.
This would be the time.
Okay. Well, I have a number of things. One, it seems like if everything is accurate in his letter, that was done illegally, the mural, and obviously that's an issue we have to deal with, or the city has to deal with. The other issue that really came through is his opening statement was very racist, and I want that on the record to say that. It was saying that the Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. I found a very racist statement, basically. And one thing to discuss maybe is if the city has a response to dealing with racism as a general thing. So and let's see, a few other things on that. The transportation person from San Jose, is he a legitimate person, or is that a real person? Has anybody found that? I mean, I never heard of that, and it just seemed kind of strange, but maybe it's not. And there are just a number of issues that came up that really kind of shook me a little on that.
Yeah,
So
never heard of the San Jose person. I think, I mean, I agree with you first about that. The obvious intent of the public comment is to sow division and you know, create in our city a backdrop for some sort of strange psychological battle, which is speaking both as a private citizen and as a public official, I have little interest in indulging. The mural did not go through official channels and was not permitted by the city. They did approach the city to try to get permits, but I think we're frustrated by I think they expect it to be an easy process. We all know that our mural permitting process takes many months and several layers. Mm-hmm. Failing to get permission, they just went ahead and painted the street. So we did get a heads up. We knew like the day before that they were going to go do it. We could have prevented it, you know, with force or the threat of tickets or arrests. We chose not to instead. Didn't seem like a good use of city resources. Looked at the design, and it is, of course, not what we would have, you know. I think it's a beautiful mural aesthetically. but from a traffic control perspective, it's not what you would build. Now, so because it's not permitted, we could have it removed. We could ask our crews to go out and remove it. I think there's little danger or risk posed by it. Traffic moves slowly on that corridor. Doesn't seem confusing to the eye. I've driven over it, walked over it, rode my bike over it just to get a sense. And I think would be a very low priority for our staff. So haven't directed the staff yet to remove the unpermitted mural.
Has the legality of it, as far as what's brought up in the letter, been explored by Ari or the legal team? I mean, if there's legitimacy to any of that, that's a serious concern. But
yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, in terms of whether or not the mural itself is legal.
Mm-hmm.
Just said it wasn't.
Or do you mean?
I mean, whether the federal law prohibits the way it's stated in the letter, and they have jurisdiction, and for one thing, because other cities have put murals on streets, and it just seems strange that, and he also referred to it as Empire Street, not Plain Street. I didn't know where that came from.
Again, it's this weird psycho drama that they're trying to enact. So our research says the city is pretty well protected when projects like this go through the proper process, right? And that if you have a proper process and you take a hard look and you allow a street mural to go up, then the city is like indemnified. If you don't do that process and you allow a mural to go up, then you could be in trouble. In this case, we didn't allow, because we didn't give it a permit, we just hadn't forcibly stopped the muralists. So it's a bit of a gray area, but likely defensible in the long run.
Can we somehow expedite some sort of process to review and either approve or deny without removing the mural, or
like retroactively?
Yeah, I'm just exploring the possibilities. But and is this a BPW issue?
Yeah. I mean, council's aware of it, and they looked at it too. I just think in the list of things that.
Okay.
Unless if the board feels otherwise, but it's a fairly low key. So the most prominent one maybe in the country is the one in Washington D.C. That huge bright yellow block letters that like take up the whole width of the street, and something like that is more obvious. I mean, I am sure there are people who drive over this street in Plain and never even notice it. It's that kind of
Okay. Well, I support your low priority of it, and see what happens, or whatever you decide.
I think there's there's obviously an attempt. There's a lot of folks who are trying. There's obviously a lot going on nationally. People here locally that want to turn this into a battleground. I'm intent on not drawing our staff, DPW, IPD, or otherwise, into this fray.
Thank you.
Lower the temperature. I know. Lower the temperature. De-escalate. Spend as little time doing this and try and model what we hope other people would, which is let's go about our business. Let's try and take care of each other. Let's fix what we can fix. And yeah.
Thank you. I support that.
It's challenging. Yeah, it's challenging. People really intent on. So staff reports. I don't know who'd like to start. See Scott's here. Tim, Mike, whoever's.
Well, I can start.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I just I think I'm going to be self-congratulatory. We're finally off of College Avenue. So that's 2 seasons.
Good job.
We're It's a little bit of a misnomer because we're still on Catherine Street, so people will still see us up there, but we're done with all of our services. The main is in. We've rotated one crew up to Sunrise to do roughly 550 feet of new water main to take advantage of a project in concert with Mark's crew up there where they're replacing some stormwater. And then we'll have the other crew on Catherine for the remainder of the season. And then once Sunrise is done, that crew will rotate over to Eddy and complete a new water main from Buffalo. Excuse me, sorry about that. Boy, I'm just gonna toss this over here because I can't find the button. Anyway, I'm gonna mute myself. Somebody take over. I've got a couple more things, but hold on.
Thanks, Scott. Tim, if you're done calling Scott, making his phone ring again.
Yeah, talking too much. I could just report on a few projects. So as most of you probably already know, the Brindley Street Bridge is officially open. The bridge is open for all modes there. The contractors jumped over to the other small bridge. They probably have about 2 weeks worth of work over there to finish up, and then they'll be wrapping up the project entirely. I think I reported last time that the playground in Stewart Park is substantially complete. We have, looks like, probably one repair and some of the surfacing that we need to do. But otherwise, that work is all set and all done, which is great. We are substantially complete with the new fuel island down at DPW. We've worked out some of the bugs in the software. And we will, once we get that all completed, we'll dig out the old one and clean up the site there. And the last one probably is just picking up where Scott left off, is as water and sewer is finishing on College Avenue, NYSEG's contractor will get ready to begin here in the next week or two to start digging for the new underground electric system. So that work is going to take this rest of this fall and soon. Back to Scott.
Yeah, let's see. So I just got back off of 2 weeks, so I'm mostly just catching up on email, but we did file all of the submittals to NYSEG today for the purchase of the street lights. So they're reviewing that. I think we're almost there. Also, the sediment dewatering facility is essentially complete. They're going to be demobilizing on Thursday. And so it looks pretty good out there. I don't know if you've been out there, but it looks a lot different than it used to. And that's about all I got. And I know Mark's been working on, Mark, maybe you can talk about Ithaca Falls, the fencing up there.
Yeah, we had Whitmore fencing up there last week, and they completed the Falls Overlook fencing at the end of Willard Way. So we have a 4-foot chain link fence, black vinyl, keep people at least 10 feet away from the existing wall due to deterioration underneath it. We also are working with the AccuFab to do Ezra's Gate, redo that. That's been an ongoing issue with it staying intact. So we're working with AccuFab and also with Tom Parsons on something that allows the emergency personnel to get in without having to take down the gate itself. A little bit of a secure mechanism that they can automatically get in without any issues. As Scott gets off College Ave, we enter College Ave along with the electrical contractor, work in concert with them to maneuver the stormwater to where it needs to be. So we'll probably be up there also the rest of the year with one of our crews intermittently, but it'll be pretty continuous with all the conflicts that are going to arise with electrical and storm and everything else, and all the new bump outs. We also got a crew over on Wood Street, milled that out, so we'll repave that, rebuild it, and then we'll head back over to Sunrise once water and sewer is all done with their water installation. Prior to Scott getting in there, we did some curbing and some stormwater work at the top of Sunrise. So that should help out with that. And then we'll finish up with Chestnut also, where we have left off by the school. But other than that, that's it. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks. I think I've corrected my interruption. Sorry about that. So back on Catherine, the reason that we're bringing a main up to Buffalo is to loop the water distribution system. Catherine has been a dead end since it was installed off of College Avenue. This will allow us an opportunity to loop it up to the Maple Avenue pressure grid, which comes off of Buffalo, and that will eliminate another dead end. So every time we do eliminate a dead end, we're very happy about that. It reduces staff time for flushing hydrants, reduces the rusty water that can build up in low yield, particularly when the students go home in the summer. Any of the dead ends, typically the water quality deteriorates pretty quickly and we have to stay on top of that. So that's an advantage, certainly. We do have another dead end on Pier Road, and as part of the City Harbor project, we have asked City Harbor to participate in a connection of the dead end on Pier Road to the wastewater plant dead end. And so when the City Harbor development project begins, they'll be directionally drilling a 10-inch plastic main underneath Cascadilla Creek. And then when City Harbor is complete, their infrastructure will run then from Pier Road under the creek, and then City Water and Sewer will complete that loop with roughly 200 feet of new 8-inch ductile iron pipe that should strengthen the fire yield in the southern half of the Newman district. So we're pretty happy about that. So that will be, well, whenever City Harbor does that work, I would assume Water and Sewer is going to follow and complete that loop soon after. It shouldn't take our crews more than a week or two to do it. So, you know, it's indicative on the development moving forward. And that's all I've got.
Okay. Yes, Mike.
I just had one quick comment. I know one of the other public comments was from Ryan Graves. We had talked about her access to her property last year. This comes up every year. And I just wanted to say that it's a kind of a complicated issue. Our attorney's office is looking at it. I know Streets and Facilities, Mark and Ray, before Ray left, were looking at this issue. We haven't forgotten about it, but I would like to get some clarity on this because it keeps coming up year after year. It's a strip of road that is not improved. It services a property that's landlocked. I don't know why the house was ever built in the first place because it doesn't have any street access, but we'll bring that up again, possibly in a couple of months, but it's still going to require a bit of research on our parts. So I just wanted to address that.
Thanks. Yes, David.
Is this a sorry, property on Spencer Street, Ben?
No, the property on Holler Road Extension.
Oh, well, never mind then. No, it's a different property I was thinking about. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Great. Thanks for all those reports. Happy to be halfway through College Ave. It's a big deal. Any report from our council liaison? Actually, don't see for this here today. Any board liaison reports? No, clerk. Okay. Then we can move to our voting item, which is the Cecil Malone Drive Bridge. First, maybe is the lead agency resolution. We can just do that, and then we'll get to discussion. Would anyone like to move? Moved by Rob. Is there a second? Second by CJ. All those in favor of the lead agency resolution? And that carries unanimously, it looks like. Great. So then discussion on the meat of the thing, the environmental impact. I don't know, Tim, if you want to give an overview.
Sure. I also have Disu Gabray, our bridge engineers, on the Zoom here, so he can answer more detailed questions. But just a quick overview. The general idea is that we'll be looking to replace the 20-foot wide bridge that's back behind Wegmans and Nate's Floral Estates in that area on Cecil A. Malone Drive, and the adjacent pedestrian bridge that's been there for a number of years to provide access through there. Both of those bridges would be removed, and we would build a brand new bridge, new abutments, new superstructure with sidewalks and bike lanes and travel lanes in each direction. And so we need to do the environmental review so we can conclude our design report, which is the like halfway kind of design document that we use for a federal aid program. And then we can move into some, I think, fairly limited right-of-way acquisitions, but we need at least some temporary easements in order to build the bridge next door, and then into final design. So that project would be, I think, Adisu, correct me if I'm wrong, set for construction into next year, or possibly 2022, but we're moving forward on that one. We had to wait, of course, till the Brindley Street Bridge was open before we could consider really fully closing the One Bridge. So that's the general view of the project.
Yeah. The project, that's of course why we built the new Tacanic Boulevard Bridge, which looks great. It is open. Any questions about the environmental impact or the project in general, I guess? Okay. Would anyone like to move the declaration?
I'll move it.
Moved by CJ, seconded by Rob. Great. All those in favor? And that carries unanimously.
Great, thank you.
It's, you know, it's like, it's pretty easy. That makes it seem easy when we just vote like that. But it's, of course, the result of many, many years and millions of dollars of planning and construction and building out the new bridge, et cetera. Okay. Any other business? Not seeing any. Is there a motion to adjourn? CJ? Or CJ, did you have some?
I have just one question.
Yeah.
They're building on Seneca Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are they supposed to have flagmen out there for traffic? Because when you come across Plain, you can't see what's coming down because of all their trucks and their, what do you call it? Their little U-Haul on the curb, and you can't see. You have to really almost halfway out in the road before you can tell if there's something coming down. There's no flagmen out there or nothing for safety.
Because they're not in the street, right? You're saying they're not in the street, but they're right up to the curb. And
they're right up to the curb, but their trucks and stuff are big, so you can't see. So you're like halfway out before you can.
That's a good question. I see Tim.
Yeah, we, when they were doing the demolition of that building, we had checked in with the state DOT to see if they had actually pulled a highway work permit to be set up on Seneca Street. And it looks like they actually did get a highway work permit from the state. So it's not our street, it's DOT. So it looks like they got their permit. That said, I can't agree with you more that their work zone leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm happy to make another report back to the state that we're getting complaints about their work zone and have them come check in on it. I think the problem is it's probably intermittent as they're getting deliveries or other material. It's really bad, then it goes away and it's not so bad for a little while. But I'm happy to pass that along.
Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
Great. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
By CJ, seconded by David. All those in favor? And that carries unanimously. Okay, thanks everybody. Stay safe out there.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Yeah.